and welcome. In this video, I'm going to interact with the decentralized application that I have created and that simulates the tracking of clinical trials through the blockchain. So to start, we need to connect to the blockchain. So as you can see, I'm using MetaMask. So I need to click on import using secret recovery phrase, or if you already have an account, just click on password. So if you want to use the account or the wallet that I have provided on my LinkedIn page or on my GitHub page, just go and copy the mnemonic or the wallet secret recovery phrase that I have provided. So I have it here. I just copy it. I copy the mnemonic here, this one, paste it. I also provided the password. So the password is made trials. I just copy and paste it, or just type it, made trials, confirm the password, made trials, and click on restore. So as you can see, now I am connected to the blockchain through MetaMask, and I am using now connected to the Ringbee testnet. So next, we need to open the decentralized application, and the link to the decentralized application is also provided on my LinkedIn page or my GitHub page. So I have it here. I just copy the link, and paste it on the browser. And so since this is the first time we are trying to connect to the decentralized application, so MetaMask asks to select the account that we need to import in order to interact with the decentralized application. So I'll click on select all and next and connect. So now, as you can see, we are now connected to the decentralized application. So the first time when the smart contract has been deployed, we provided two accounts. The first is the authority admin account, and the second is the promoter admin account. So the authority admin account is the account 9. So we can go to account 9, and we see that now we are connected to the authority admin page, and this is address. And the promoter admin account is the account 10. So if we go to the account 10, you can see that now we are connected to the promoter admin page, and this is address. So next, we need to add some authorities and promoters, because the promoters are in charge of submitting a protocol to authorities for signature or for validation. So once the protocol is validated by authorities, then the clinical trial could start. So first, we need to enroll or to register authorities that will be in charge of validating the protocols. So let's go to the authority admin page, because only the authority admin can add new authorities. So as you can see, we are connected to the authority admin page. So let's add a new authority. So for the name, I would say Diane Guerra. For the company, I just select we authorities, and for the address, I have some addresses here that I can use, and you can also find these addresses on my LinkedIn page or my GitHub page. So I have some authority addresses, so I will select an authority address. This is the first one, paste it, and submit. Click on submit, and now this information, so the authority information will be sent to IPFS, and this IPFS returns a CID or a content identifier, and this content identifier is sent to the smart contract. So just click on confirm, and as you can see, now the transaction is pending, and once the transaction is confirmed, we will see a new authority displayed on screen here. So just wait for the transaction to be confirmed. So we still wait. So here we are. So now, as you can see, the transaction has been confirmed. You can check it here. So the transaction has been confirmed, and a new authority has been added. So we can add more authorities. For example, let's add a new one. For the company, I will say we help, and just select a new address, paste it here, and click on submit, and confirm the transaction. So just wait, because now the transaction is pending, and wait, and once the transaction is confirmed, then the new authority will be displayed here. This means that the authority information has been sent to the smart contract, so to IPFS, and the CID to the store to the smart contract. So now we have two authorities. Next, we need to add promoters. So only the promoter admin can add promoters. So we need to go to account 10, which is the promoter admin account. So here we have, so as you can see, we now connected to the promoter admin page. So the process is the same. Select a name, so CEO. For the company, I will say we promoters, and for the address, I have some addresses here, so I select the first one, copy and paste it, click on submit, and confirm. So we just wait for this information to be sent to the blockchain, and now that the transaction has been confirmed. You can see it here, and we see that there is a new promoter in the system. So let's add one more promoter. For the name, I'll say we trust. And just select the second address here, paste it and submit, confirm, wait for the confirmation, and the new promoter will be displayed here on screen. So just wait for the transaction to be confirmed. So now the transaction is still pending. And so now the transaction has been confirmed. You can see it here, and there is a new authority in the system. So next, we need an authority. So for example, this authority needs to submit a protocol to a new promoter. One of these promoters need to submit a protocol to authorities. for validation. So let, for example, go to this authority page. So it is the authority 0xe5a. Sorry, the promoter. Sorry, the promoter. These two users are promoters. So let's go to the promoters page, this promoter page, and his account is 0xe5. So it's 0xe5, 0xe5. Okay, this one. So what can a promoter do? So a promoter can add investigators and register a protocol. So let's first start by adding an investigator, because to register a protocol, as you can see, now I'll just click on register protocol. So to register a protocol, a promoter need to submit an investigator address. So before the promoter can register a protocol, he must add some investigators. So let's go on and click on add investigators and add a new investigator. So I will select the name. For the company, I said we investigate those. And for the address, I have some address here, so I select the first one for investigators and click on submit and confirm, and just wait for the transaction to be confirmed, because now it's still pending. So once the transaction is confirmed, then there will be a new investigator enrolled. So just wait for the confirmation. And now that the transaction has been confirmed, we can see it here. Go to MetaMask, see that the transaction has been confirmed, and we have a new investigator. So I will add one more investigator. For the company, I say we trust. For the address, I select the second address here. That's it. And click on submit. So click on confirm. And now the transaction is pending. Just wait for the confirmation. And once the transaction is confirmed, then the new investigator will be displayed here on screen. So now we have two investigators. So next, the promoter can register a protocol. So let's go to register a protocol. So to register a protocol, the promoter needs to select the protocol that you want to submit to authorities for validation. So just click on select the protocol, and I have provided some files. You can find it on the project. So in the data directory, so there is a directory called data right here. You can find it on my GitHub page, or yes, on my GitHub page. So in this folder, the data folder, you can see that we have a file called, there is a file, sorry, called protocol. So named protocol, if you want. So you just select the file, click select, and the file is displayed on the screen. So this is just to check that you are sending the right file. So you can check that this is the protocol file, and once you check the file, just select the center. This time I will say 9.4. For the category, I just say A, and we need to provide an investigator address. So remember, we just registered 2 investigators. So we cannot select an investigator that is not added, that has not been added to the system. So we need to provide an investigator that exists. So we have 2 investigators. So I will select the first one. Go pass his address. This is an Ethereum address. And click on submit. So by clicking on submit, we are sending this file, the protocol file, and all this information to IPFS. And IPFS returns a content identifier or a CID, and this CID is sent to the contract, the smart contract. So just click on confirm, and we need to wait because now the transaction has been confirmed, as you can see. And now we can see that we have one protocol registered. So the protocol has been sent to the authority for validation. And we can see that the status is registered, but the protocol still needs to be authorized or validated by the authorities. So we can go back to the authority page, for example, this authority, yes, it is the authority page, and click on validate protocol, and we see that there is one protocol that has been registered but still need to be validated or authorized. So we can click on this authority, can decide to validate the protocol just by clicking on authorize the protocol, confirm. So we need to wait because the status is registered. Because the transaction is still pending. So look, now the status is registered. And once the transaction is confirmed, then the status becomes validated. So the protocol has been validated or authorized by the authority. And now this investigator that has been enrolled to this protocol can start enrolling or adding patients to this protocol. So next, let's add one more protocol. So we need to go to the promoter page, this one, and register protocol. So the process is the same. Select the protocol. I will select the same protocol. You can select another file. So I select the protocol. Choose a center. This time I will choose 7. Sorry, yes, 7.5. For the category, I will select B, and we need the investigator address. So I will select the second investigator address because we have registered 2 investigators. So click on submit, confirm, and just wait for the confirmation. So we expect that once the transaction is confirmed, we get 2 protocols submit. So here, as you can see, we have 2 protocols. So the first one has been validated by authorities, but the second one still needs to be validated. So we can now go to the investigator page and let's submit a new protocol with the first investigator. So this time I will select 9.3 and C. So select the first investigator and submit. Confirm. Just wait. So I'm submitting a new protocol. So we will have 3 protocols because I want an investigator. So the first, I want the first investigator to be enrolled in 2 protocols. For the first one will be validated, but the second one will not be validated. So as you can see, this investigator, the first one, the investigator with the address 0xDE is registered or is enrolled to these 2 protocols, the first one and the last one. And the first one has been validated, but the last one or the second for this investigator still need to be validated. So we can go to the authority page and validate not the protocol, the second protocol of this investigator, but just the protocol of the second investigator. So we can see here that we have 2 investigators. The first investigator is 0xDE, which is the investigator for the first protocol, and the same investigator is also enrolled to the third protocol. So now for the second protocol, it is a new investigator, so 0x2E, and I just want to validate or to authorize this protocol. And I will leave the third protocol just not validated because I want this investigator to have 2 protocols. The first validated and the second non-validated, just registered but not authorized. So, well, now that we have 2 protocols or 3 protocols, 2 protocols for this investigator and 1 protocol for the other, for the second investigator, we can register or enroll users or patients to the clinical trial. So only the investigator can add new patients to the clinical trial. So we need to go to the investigator address or the investigator page. So I will use this investigator because he has 2 protocols, and the first one is validated and the second one is not validated. So let's go to the investigator 0xDAF6. So I think it's this one, 0xDAF6. Okay, yes. So what can an investigator do? An investigator can add patients, collect patient data, and revoke patient consent. So let's start by adding patients to the clinical trial. So if we click on add patient, you can see that this investigator has been enrolled to 2 protocols. So the first one, P94, has been validated, but the second one, P93, is registered but not validated. So this means that we can add patients only to the first protocol, but not to the second protocol. So let's try, for example, to add new patients to the second protocol. And we expect that the smart contract will reject this transaction because the smart contract knows that the second protocol has not been validated yet. So let's try. So then here, let's go to add new patient and select a gender, I say male, and select the heteronym address of the patient. So I have addresses here, so I select the first one. So for the full name, just for the address, I would say 90 Avenue de France. For the city, let's say Paris, and the country is France, of course. And for the phone, just select a phone. This is not a right phone number. So for the email, you add avenue 5.com and select the date, the birthday. So just select this one, and so we have two protocols here, two protocols. So when clicking on select the protocol, you see that we have the two protocols displayed here. So as I said before, we cannot register patients or enroll patients to the second protocol because it is not validated. So now let's try to select this protocol, the second one, which is registered but not validated. So I click on the second one and click on add patient. So we expect that the smart contract will reject the transaction. So we cannot add new patient to this protocol or to this trial, clinical trial, because the smart contract still needs to be validated. So click on add patient, and as you can see, the transaction has been rejected. So we got an error that says that there is an exception for in the contract. So the contract found an exception, has found an exception because the contract knows that this protocol, the second one, has not been validated. So it still needs to be validated in order for this investigator to be able to add new patients or to enroll patients to this protocol. So now let's select the first protocol which has been validated. So we expect that this time the smart contract will accept the transaction because the protocol is validated. So I select the first protocol, 94, as you can see P94, and click on add patient. So now we have no error. So we can just confirm and wait for the transaction to be confirmed, and the patient information or the patient data will be sent to IPFS to be stored there. So now look at here, the number of patients is 0, and now it is 1 because the transaction has been confirmed. As you can see, the transaction has been confirmed, and all this information, the patient information, has been sent to IPFS to store them there, and we got the CID from IPFS, and this CID has been sent to the contract or to the smart contract to be stored on the blockchain. So now we have one patient, and here in this table we have the patient information. So the patient ID PA001, and we can see that the patient has given his consent, and the protocol to which this patient is enrolled. So it is the first one, P94, and we see that we have P94 here, and the patient address. So next, let's add a new patient. So this time we select a female, and select the second address, patient address here. And for the name, let's say for the address, I say 20 rue de Monaco. For the city, I'll say Marseille, France, of course. For the phone, say this one. And for the email, so for the email, I will say law@wilia.com and just select the date for date of birth. And since we cannot register patients to the second protocol, I will select the first one, which is validated, and click on confirm. And we expect that now we'll have 2 patients, so this number will increase. So we'll have 2 here, and the new patient will. So as you can see now, there is a new patient, and the number increases. So we have 2 patients now, and the patient ID is PA002 for the second patient, and the protocol is the same because we cannot register a patient to this protocol. And here is the patient address. So what's next? Next, the investigator can start collecting patient data. So we can select one of these patients. I will select the first one and collect his data. So we will be collecting data for different trials. For the first trial, the patient goes to for example, for the first trial, so the patient just goes to the investigator and provides some data, and those data will be sent to IPFS and the CID register to the contract. So to collect data, just go on collect patient data, and you need to upload the file that contains the patient data. So you can find this file in a folder called data in the project. So I just created this file in order to use it for this project. So the first time we need to tell which trial we are dealing with. So this is the first trial. So we need to put 1 here. And this is the first trial, so observation 1, so trial 1. So we need to put a date. So the date, since I'm using member, it's so easy. So click on insert current date. So I have the date here. So W means wait. So for this first trial, I would say we record 30 as a wait for this patient. BS means blood sugar. So for the first trial, we have recorded 1.4. SE means second effect. Side effects. So as we notice some side effects, yes, the value is 0.2. So side effects goes from 0 to 1. So 0 means that there is no side effect, or there are no side effects, and 1 means that the side effects that has been observed is a serious side effect. So now we are for this trial we recorded 0.2, which is small compared to 1. So this is not a serious side effect. So SSE means serious side effect. So since this is a small value compared to 1, which is the maximum value for side effects, sorry. So here we just put 0, means that there are no serious side effects. For the age, I just put 24, and I need to save this file as a XLSX file or an Excel file. So now that we have collected patient data, I need to go back to the decentralized application and click on Upload File. And there is a folder called Patients, so I put the file in this folder, click on it, and the name of the file is PA001 because the name of the patient, the patient ID is PA001. So I just click this. And as you can see, we have retrieved some information from the file. So, and display it here on screen. So the weight, 30, the blood sugar, 1.4, the side effect, yes, some side effect, 0.2, but which is not a serious side effect. So that's why we put 0 here. So now we click on Send Data. So by clicking on Send Data, we send this file on IPFS. So we need to store this file on IPFS, and the CID that IPFS returns will be sent to the smart contract. So we click on Send and click on Confirm. And as you can see, the transaction is pending. So once the transaction is confirmed, this table here will disappear. So now the transaction, sorry, the file has been sent to IPFS and the CID to the smart contract. Well, so now we can come here and click on Consult Patient Data. So select the patient ID. So now we are working with the patient PA001, this one, get list of CID, observation number. So by clicking on observation number, we see just one because since now we just collected data for the first trial for this patient. So one means trial 1. And since we have collected only data for the first trial, then we see 1 here. So click on Download Data. So by clicking on Download Data, we interact with we sent a message to the smart contract to say we need to collect the patient data. So the smart contract gives back the CID, and this CID is used to get the data that has been stored on IPFS. So now, on clicking on Download Data, we are retrieving data from IPFS, and the file IPFS returns this file, so we need to save it, as I will put trial 1 and save it on download. So save on download on the download folder. So now we have retrieved the file from IPFS. We can upload, so we can open it. So go to download because we download it. We save it on download folder, and we name it tier 1, so trial 1. If I click it, so as you can see, we have 1 trial, and these information are, of course, the information that was provided by the patient to the investigator. So the weight, the blue sugar, the serious side effects, and side effects. So, and below, I just put some charts for weight, blood sugar, and side effects. So you can see that the weight corresponds exactly to this value here. The blood sugar is exactly this one. And we have observed some side effects, which is 0.2, not so close to 1 to be considered as a serious side effect. Well, so next, let's add, let's collect the patient data. So for trial 2, so this was the data for trial 1. So the same patient went to the investigator and want now to, an investigator will collect the data for the trial 2. So let's go to collect patient data here and click on upload the file. So we need to collect the patient data and put it here on this in this file. So this is the second trial, so I need to put 2 here, means that we are dealing with the second trial. And for the date, come here to observation 2 or trial 2 and put the date. So it is so easy when if you are using numbers. So just click on on table and insert current time. So for the weight, I will say the weight increases, maybe, yes, 32. The blood sugar decreases 1.3, let's say. The side effects, yes, we observe some side effects, but the value is so small, so there are no serious side effects. So we put 0 here. The age is 27. And now we can save the file or export it as a XLSX file, etc. So now that the investigator has collected patient data, then you need to send it on IPFS to be stored there and get the CID and send it to the counter. So we need to go to the patient data and select the patient PA001, this one. And we see that this time we have 2 trials. So the first one and the second one. The second one, as we saw, the weight increases from 30 to 32, and also no serious side effects has been observed. So click on Send Data, confirm the transaction, and just wait for the transaction to be confirmed. And now the transaction has been confirmed. We can come here to consult patient data, select the patient ID, which is the first one. Click on Get List of CID to get the list of CIDs. So now we have 2 trials. So we expect 2 observation number here. So as you can see, we have 1 and 2. So one is for the trial 1 and 2 is for the trial 2. So since we already display for the first trial, now we need to display for the second trial. Of course, we can also display information for the first trial, but we already done that. We've already done that, so we need this one. So click on download. So now by clicking on download, we are retrieving information from the blockchain, so the CID from the blockchain, and the data file from IPFS. So I need to save it as file 2 And now that we retrieve the file from IPFS, I can display it. So please trial 2. So here we are. So as you can see, now we have two trials. So we just got information, this information from IPFS, this one, and I just read these two columns, these two columns here, and display the two columns here on the screen. And we also have charts, so we can see that the weight goes from 30 to 32, so the weight goes from 30 to 32, and the blood sugar decreases from 1.4 to 1.3, which is this value, from 1.4 to 1.3, and there are no serious side effects because the side effect decreases from 0.2 to 0.1, and this 0.1 is small compared to 1, which is the maximum value for side effects. And if we record a value close to 1 or 1, then this value can be considered as a serious side effect. So, well, now we see that everything is working just fine, we can, for the next trial, introduce some serious side effects on the system. So, if there is there are serious side effects, then the smart contract will stop the clinical trial, or will suspend the clinical trial. So the investigator will no longer be able to add new patients to the trial because of this serious side effect. So let's try it. Let's try to, for the third trial, to introduce or to put some serious side effects. So let's go here. Let's come to the patient data and file, edit it. So this time is trial 3, and go to observation 3 or trial 3. We put the date. And for the weight, I'll say the weight decreases. So let's put 22. For the blood sugar, it increases to 1.9. For side effects, yes, there are some side effects. So we put 0.9, and this time we record a value that is close to 1. So since this value is close to 1, then we have observed some serious side effects. So we need to put 1 here. So there are only two possibilities for serious side effects. 0, meaning that there are no side effects, or 1 for serious side effects, if we have observed some serious side effects. So for the age, we put the same, and we need to import it as an XLSX file. And now we just go back to the decentralized application, and we need to collect this trial. So click on collect patient data for the third trial, upload, and go and select the data. So the patient ID is PA001, so the same patient. So as you can see, now we have 3 trials. The first, the second, but for the third trial, we have observed some serious side effects because the value of the serious side effect is close to 1, so it's 0.9, and this is a very high. This is a value close to 1. Then we need to consider it as a serious side effect. That's why we put 1 here. And when this data will be sent to the contract, So this information will be sent to the contract, and the contract, since the contract will notice that there are some serious side effects, the contract will stop or suspend the clinical trial. This means that for the next trial, this investigator will no longer be able to register new data to this protocol or to collect patient data. So let's click on send. So now we send this file to IPFS. So the new file, this one. This file is sent to IPFS, and the CID will be sent to the smart contract together with this information. Also, this information for the serious side effect will be sent to the contract. So let's click on send. We confirm, and just wait for the transaction to be confirmed. So here we are. Now the transaction has been confirmed, and if we come here to consult patient data, you can see that if we select the first patient, click on get list of CID, now we have 3 numbers. The first for trial 1, the second for trial 2, and the last one for trial 3 of the third trial. So let's click on download. Now we need to just to get this data that has been stored on IPFS and just display it on screen here. So I click on download. By clicking on download, as I said before, we are interacting with the smart contract to retrieve the CID, and this CID is used to fetch data from IPFS. So now now IPFS sends back the data. So we need to register it as save it as a trial 3, so TR3. And now I need to display this file, so information from this file, so download. So it's this one. So not this one. Sorry, it's the third, not this one. So the third one. Click on save, place, and now let's go to the third one. So this one, and so now we see that we have 3 trials. So the first one, the second, and the third one. And what is interesting now is to see that we have a serious side effect. So the next time, if you want to register a new patient, the contract will reject the transaction, because now the contract knows this information. So below we have charts. We can see that the weight this time goes from 32 to 22, and the blood sugar increases from 1.3 to 1.9. And since the value recorded for the side effect is close to 1, which is the maximum value, then this value is considered as a serious side effect. That's why we have put 1 here, and this information has been sent to the smart contract, and the smart contract knows now that there are some serious side effects. So let's first go and see the status, the protocol status now. So let's see. Now, as you can see, the status, this protocol is now suspended. This because the smart contract has received the information that there are some serious side effects and suspended automatically the protocol or the clinical trial. So we don't need to go and click on the button. For example, maybe go to the the authority page and click on a button to suspend trials. The smart contract does it automatically. When the smart contract sees that there is or there are some serious side effects that have been observed, then it suspends automatically the clinical trial. So we just see it here. And we can go to the authority page and see the status of the protocol. So now we can see that this protocol, the first protocol that has been validated by the protocol, now because of the serious side effect is suspended, has been suspended. So the authority can come here if the authority wants to resume the protocol. You need to go to suspend or resume trial. So you can see that now the status is suspended, but the authority can resume the protocol. So yes, the protocol. So let's now leave it like this and go back to the investigator page and try to register. Let's try to register a new patient to this protocol. So I'll select mail. Let's select an address. So I'll select a new address, patient address. So now we are trying to add a new patient to this protocol that has been suspended by the smart contract. So let's select a full name. The address, 12 rue Icor. For the city, I'll say Nantes. For the country, France. For the phone, just select 0505. For the email, I'll say order@woo.com and select the date of birth. And so select the first one. So this protocol, the first one, P94. So the status is suspended, and we expect that this time, because there are we have observed some serious side effects, then we can no longer add new or enroll new patients to this contract, because there are some serious side effects and the contract, and the protocol has been suspended. So click on, so we select this protocol 94, and click on add patient. And here we have, so as you can see, we got a transaction error, and the contract has thrown an exception. This because the contract knows that there are some side effects, and just suspended the clinical trial, and we can no longer, this investigator can no longer add or enroll new patients to to this protocol, because the status is suspended. So in order for this investigator to be able to add new patients to this to the protocol, it needs to be resumed by the authority. So just reject it, and we can resume the protocol by going to the authority page. So if we go to suspend or resume trial. So now we can see that the status, the contract, so the protocol status is suspended. So we can decide, the authority can decide to resume the contract. So you just click on resume and confirm and wait because the transaction needs to be confirmed. So now let's look at the status here. It's suspended. And once the transaction is confirmed, now the status becomes resumed. And the authority can decide to suspend the transaction. So, well, let's go back to, for example, to the promoter page. And also, for the promoter, we can see that the statute now becomes resumed. So resumed means that the investigator can now enroll new patients. So if we go to the investigator page, also for the investigator, the status becomes resumed. So now this investigator can continue adding new patients to the protocol because the protocol has been resumed by authorities. So the next, let's go click on revoke patient consent. And this time, what we want to see is a patient, for example, this patient no longer want to be enrolled to the clinical trial. So he just decided to revoke his consent. So it is the role of the investigator to do that. So the patient just tell the investigator that he doesn't want to continue the clinical trial. So the investigator just need to click on revoke consent. So to revoke the consent, the patient consent, this patient consent. So click on revoke, confirm, and as you can, we expect that this patient will be removed from the clinical trial because he just revoked his consent. So the transaction is still pending. So here we have. So now, as you can see, the patient, the second patient, has been removed to this trial, and we can go back, for example, here to see that now we have just one patient because the second one has been removed because he just revoked his consent. And also in the table we can see that there is only one patient because the patient, the second patient, has been removed. So as we just demonstrate that the decentralized application that simulates the tracking of clinical trials through the blockchain works just as we expect and works fine. So I will stop here and thank you for watching.